Hello, everyone. Well, it's been a while since I made a video about my chess boards. So today I thought I'd do two things. Show you a chess game that I miserably lost at the chess club, and show you a small chess set that I've got. Actually, I've got two of these sets, a couple of these boards, but this board is the old one. This is the box the pieces come in. So last Thursday, today being Sunday, went to the chess club. There was a party for somebody who was leaving, going to college or whatever. He was moving. And I decided to play him a game or two. First game was miserable. But being the party it was and everything, it was a bit lighthearted, and I was blundering miserably. But regardless of the blunders, this person actually plays chess very well. I think he's overall, even if I went there all serious, I think he's a little bit of a better chess player than I am anyway. I'm no good at my openings. I make them up all the time. He actually knows his openings and uses them all the time. So this was the position after 17 moves. And I'm white. He's black. His name is Dylan. I think he's in his 20s. So I'm not doing too bad here. At least it looks like I'm pretty good, except my next move is an absolute blunder. And not being the person who likes to take back moves and everything, and I wanted to I lied to him. I told him, no, I'm not taking that back. I wanted to do that. And so the move was, and here's the idea. The idea was that I wanted to remove his queen. And the idea that it was a partial lie. I wanted to remove his queen. I was going to sacrifice the knight, but I changed my mind, and I wasn't going to do it. But I did it anyway. And what I should have done, of course, I should have moved this pawn first. I should have moved g3 first. But I did is this, completely and totally blundering my knight away. Of course, he took it, but there's a little discussion. He goes, "You don't want to do that. Take it back. Take it back." I said, "No, I wanted to do that." Of course, that was the white lie, because I actually did want to do that, but I didn't want to do it until I protected it by doing this first. Then I would have been able to do that. So there was the blunder, and after another 18 or so moves, of course, I resigned, and it was done. But so I think sometimes I go there, and it's such a light-hearted mood that sometimes I think I'm in another world. I'm like in the daze. I'm not really paying attention. I'm not, I could have done much better. Again, I think he's a better chess player than me anyway. He's higher rated. He has played in some tournaments. I have never played in any tournaments. But I thought I was holding my own until I blunder. I have a habit of blundering easily. But if you want to see the rest of the game, I'll try to hurry through it. So knight h4, queen takes h4. And this is where I slowly but surely fall. But I was still putting up a fight. I did do that g3 too late. He moved queen f6. Okay. I moved my queen to f3, thinking that I want to get out here. I want to get over here somehow. I want to get in the attack, and I want to put him in check. He moves rook a7. Rook a7. Oh. Wait, how did he do that? How did he do that with this pawn in a way? It must be a pawn that I didn't move before. Let me see if I could find it. Well, I guess there's a mistake on this notation, so I can't take the rest of the game unless I fix this mistake. Let me see if I can figure out what happened here. I don't want to be too silent while you're waiting. You know what? I'm going to pause it while I look at this, and then I'll unpause it and come back to you with the answer whether or not I can fix it. Okay. I actually remember the game, and I believe I remembered it correctly. That's not supposed to be A7. I believe that's D7, because I remember him moving his rook up. I mean E7, excuse me. I even wrote it wrong the second time. Okay. I'm sure that he moved his rook up, because he did not move these pawns yet. So I'm going to leave it like that and see what happens. So I'm going to take E7. Let me make sure I'm right that. Okay. I moved Queen D5 check. I went ahead and did that, just to, and perhaps I could undermine some of his pawns. So I was doing all right anyway, even though I gave up a knight. But I am down a knight, and or actually I'm down a bishop. We both have both knights, but I'm down a bishop, so I'm down a piece, a minor piece anyway, and a pawn. So he is definitely up, and giving up that knight was not the right thing to do at that time. So I did put him in check, and he offered to trade of queens. I think I decided not to. Yes, no, let me see. Queen takes c5. Yeah, I decided not to trade queens at the time because I figured I'm already down. And in chess, the time to trade is when you're up. And since I'm down, it's not time to trade. In fact, I needed to hold on to something. So I started to play a little bit more serious here. I started to stop being so giddy, and I tried to make up for my silliness and blunder. And I, was holding it. But again, he is actually a very good chess player and somewhat a little bit better than I am. So this was going to prove to be a big task. But I continued. It was a party for him after all. We had pizza and stuff like that, pizza and soda. Okay, so I took c5, and he goes b6, turning my queen. Of course, I expected that. I move queen d5, letting him decide to do the charade, and he does. Because I really didn't have no place else to go. And it's unfortunate that I had to actually do this. And yeah, of course I have to. Unfortunately, I did have to trade after that, even though it's not good for me to trade at this point because again I'm down. So he moves rook d8. See, so this does look like it's correct because if yeah, I remember this. So this was correct. I just wrote it down wrong. All right, so I go f4. He goes e4. Yeah, f4. And he pushes the pawn, doesn't take. I kind of expected him to do that. I do take, d takes e4. Let me just put this pencil down. Yeah, d takes e4. F takes e4. Okay. King f2 was my move. So now I'm going to start trying to activate my king. He takes, rook takes d5. So I couldn't do anything about that pawn. So I why bother wasting a move by trying to move it forward? But he does take it. Rook takes d5. So now a couple pawns down plus the I move rook e2. I want to stack my rooks if I can. Rook b5 is what he does. b3 is what I do. g5. Rook d e1. Yes, rook d e1. Yeah, I stack the rooks. Here goes e3 check. I got king f3. So I'm in a bit of a pickle here, obviously. But he goes g5. Now, wait a minute. So that's another mistake. g5 is on here twice. He's already on g5. Well, here it is again, another mistake. It says g5, and that says g5. So, again, I'm making mistakes here, so let me see if I can figure out, if I can remember what he did. And I can't remember. This is where the game... I did lose after you know, I decided that I to resign, but let me see. If it's not g5, then what would it be? King f3. And after that I moved h3. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to correct this, and I apologize. But so after move 30, 31, king f3 to get out of check, there's an error on here, and the game went to 37 moves. So there's a few moves I have to figure out. But that is essentially the game in a nutshell. Obviously, I'm a pawn and a knight down, or a pawn and a bishop down, and or at least a pawn and a bishop. And let me see. Yeah, there's yeah, I'm one pawn and one bishop down, and he, you know, I'm looking at the board now, and maybe, you know, in retrospect, maybe I could have still had a fighting chance, but I'm just not sure exactly what he did. I'm wondering if it wasn't h5. You know, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to say it was h5. I'm going to try to continue this game under that impression. Okay, so I made the correction. I just lightly crossed out and wrote h5. Let's try h5. I think that might have been what he did, because I remember him pushing the pawns. I moved h3. Yeah, I do remember that. a5. Rook c1. Threatening to check him. Rook e8. So he moves it back for whatever reason. Oh yeah, to stop me from putting him in check. Rook c6. Yeah, rook c6. He moves rook c5. I'm not sure what he's up to. Oh yes, okay. Yeah, so he traps my rook. Rook g6. That doesn't exactly trap it, but I intended to go over here anyway. So I am, you know, making some decent threats here. Again, because of my blunder with that knight, I'm not exactly in a good position, but I'm just sort of putting up a fight at the end, you know, never say die kind of thing. Rook C1, it looks like. Yeah, that's what it was. I remember him. He's going to make his own attack. Now I'm deciding whether or not let him do this, because this is potentially a checkmate, coming. So I'm just making sure that's not happening. So I decided that it was safe enough to let him do that. So I went ahead and took his pawn to try and gain some material back. Rook takes G5. And he moves, what is my own writing is hard. Oh, D3. D3. Yes. Yes, he threatens my rook. Although I don't see why. Rook takes E3. So I got another pawn. I don't know. I think that might have been a mistake of his. So I'm no longer in absolute danger, and it seems like maybe if I had paid attention, I might have been able to get back on this. Let me see. Okay, so he moves Rook F1 check. And what do I do at this point? I resigned at this point. I said, "No, you got the game." And you see, now if I didn't allow this, I had a potential good attack here. So I had to go away from here. And after that, of course, he's got my rook. It doesn't show that here. That's where it ends. The check is where it ends. The rook F1 check is where it ends. But I'm sure I did that, and I just put the paper down, and we made a couple more moves, and I resigned because this is it. That's it. He's got the rook, and there it is. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game and laugh at my blunder. And I hope you like my little analytical chess set.